Hi Shelby, this is Mrs. Travers. I sometimes find it easier to show you using a video than I do to type out instructions. So hopefully this will help you. If not, then please let me know what specifically you're looking for and I can maybe direct you in a different way. The first thing that I want to show you is that I am impersonating you. That means that I'm literally in your account and I'm able to make changes as you. So one of the first things that I want to point out, because you asked me about how to navigate through all of the things that you have to offer within the program, or how do you figure out what you're supposed to be working on. So when I look at your main page after logging in, one of the key things that I want to encourage you to do is to authorize your Google account to be able to access within this program your Google programs. So Google Docs, Google Slides, anything else that you might need for this particular program. So in order to do that, you're going to click on this button right here. It's already got your name entered. Your password should be Apps for Ed, or if you are a student within the Hastings and Prince Edward, it would be whatever your login is for your Google account within the HPDSB. So again, please make sure that you authorize that just to ensure that you have as many options to hand in assignments as possible. So here's the key thing that you asked me. You said, what am I doing or what am I working on? I'm going to go to the news feed. Now it goes with, at the top is the most recent work. So if you haven't gone through the news feed on the course homepage, that would be the very first stop that I would make. So what I often do is in the news feed, I'm posting all the pieces that you'll need for the day, but also for the activities that you're working on. Each week, I'm going to post this once a week just to see what the week's overview is going to look like. And then it's divided into each day. Each day, you're going to accomplish the tasks in this particular list. Looks overwhelming, but in the very beginning, it's really just giving you all of the pieces that you need to have. So when we look at each day and what you're supposed to be doing, I want to pay attention to, say, the very first day. So you're going to log in and complete the orientation course, and then looking at Unit 1, Activity 1 content. What I've ended up doing is students found the weekly schedule too overwhelming, so you'll actually see a day by day as to what you should accomplish. This is just a picture of that actual schedule so that you can actually see it. If you want to click on these links, you can actually just click here. And this will open up the Google Docs so that you can actually access these videos, which are posted right above, and also any other resources that you might need. So for the very first day, I wanted you to go to the orientation course, and I also wanted you to read and make notes on Unit 1, Activity 1. So where do you find that? Up here in Content. Once you click on the Content button, we know we're working with Unit 1, Activity 1. Here is the orientation course to know how to work through VLE. However, if you're familiar with where to complete that, you can actually go into the course units. So here is Unit 1, and we're going to click on Activity 1 because that's what it was telling us to do. So you can start with the orientation course that's found in Content, and all of the information you will need as to where, basically what Content is it's like a textbook, and it gives you the assignment outlines and all of the links in order to be able to hand in your assignment. So your assignment was to go through and to read and make notes. So as we scroll down, it wants you to read Norms of Collaboration and then complete this activity, this interactive activity with it, to make some more notes. And here we have a discussion. So this is part of your assignment. It says it wants you to share which 2 of the 7 norms of collaboration. That's up here. That was the article that we just read right here. So you can actually read through that. summarize some key ideas in a notebook, whether it be a binder with paper that you create or an ongoing Word document or Google document where you make those notes. And it's asking you to take which two of them you feel are most important and post them in the discussion. You can actually join that discussion right through here. And that's what I highly encourage you to do, is to go through all of the Unit 1, Activity 1, or whatever activity you're working on, to go through the content so that you know what exactly you're working on and you have all the background information. I have so many students who just go through the calendar to see what's due and try and hand in stuff without actually having all the background knowledge that they need to have in order to complete that. So you would join the discussion here, and then you can carry on. You're going to create your own notebook so that you can record your ideas and concepts. And sometimes they'll have something called a metacognitive moment, and that's to write in your writer's notebook as well. These are notes just for you, not to be handed in, but they're to help you with all of your assignments that need to be handed in. So in this particular discussion, or this particular activity, all we have is one discussion. Something that I wanted to show you is that when we look at the course home, I was saying that it's really important to go through the course content and we find out what we're working on by using the news feed. The other thing that you can do, so the course started on November 12th. It doesn't have any due dates, but if we click on the 13th, we can actually see that there's a dot there. So when I look down here, I'm going to start with the 13th. There's actually an assignment there that we haven't seen yet, because all there was in Unit 1 discussion, or Unit 1 Activity 1, was a discussion. So we're going to look at Friday's work, because we need to see, there's Thursday's work. Here's November 13th. Here's what we're working on, Unit 1, Activities 1 and 2. So Unit 1, Building a Writer's Community Discussion, that was related to the 7 norms. So we've completed that one, having gone through Unit 1, Content 1. Now it says for the Friday, we want to read Activity 2, read and make notes. So we're going to go back to Content. Unit 1 says Activity 2 now. We're going to click on Activity 2 and go read and make notes on the content for this particular course. Okay, so we're scrolling down. We're going to make some notes because here we have Writer's Notebook. Again, these are not assignments, but this information will help you formulate ideas for your assignments that you will be handing in. Here's a video you can watch and make notes on. How to beat writer's block. And again, writing in your writer's notebook some ideas. Prompting prompts. This is going to turn into assignment because I can see this down below. And that was in the calendar as one of the assignments that we need to complete. So before we submit our work, we need to know what we're doing. So it gives you some background information. And so it's a way for writers to create a starting point in which to write their story. So what you can do here, and I've got a video in the newsfeed about how to complete this activity, is that you will want to, you're going to create a prompt for each one of those bulleted points. There's a template here, or you can create your own. And then when you finish that template, or the list of bulleted points for the prompted prompts, you can submit your work here. So what you can do is read through the calendar or the news feed and see which content you're working on specifically. And so as you go through, all of the assignments are actually listed here. Here's another discussion. So you can join the discussion there and post on what it's asking you specifically there. Here is another discussion that you're going to be posting on here. So each day you can check into the newsfeed to find out which activity and which unit you're working in. The other key thing to pay attention to is the course home. Because here we have some extra information. So this is how to complete the prompting prompts explanation. You have a list of all the things that you should be working on. But what I want you to really pay attention to is, in addition to working through activities 1 and 2, is when those assignments are actually due. So we were supposed to be working on them November 13th, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're due that day. So I'd highly recommend going to Unit 1, Activities 1 and 2, working through the content, making your notes, and handing in assignments as you go along. When you're thinking about those, it's also important to know when the due dates are for those particular assignments. So when we were going through Unit 1, Activity 2, the content, you'll actually have noted there was prompting prompts. It was due on Friday. So that's the key thing to pay attention to, is what you're supposed to be working on, when it's due, and when you should hand it in. So in this outline as to things that you should be working on a daily basis, it's like a lesson plan. So when you start into the course, these are the things that you should be working on and accomplishing that particular day. But you will notice that there are 2 discussions here in Activity 2, but they weren't due on Friday. Even though we were working on them, they are technically due on Monday. So you need to make sure that you're working through them on time and ahead of the deadline. So what's going to happen is that on Monday, I'm going to post in the news feed, I'm going to post what the schedule is for the week, but I'm also going to do the daily schedule that you'll see right here. And on Monday, we're going to be working through activities 3 and 4. So what you're going to want to do is go up to the content, find Unit 1, Activity 3 and 4, having already gone through Activity 1 and 2. And you're going to want to read the content, start making notes, and paying attention to the deadlines as to when those particular assignments are due. So I hope that helps you understand sort of how to navigate or what you're supposed to be working on. You've got many different tools in which to guide you as to when things are due. I know a number of students that really just focus on the due dates to make sure that they're handing those in on time. So if you're working from behind and you know that you need to hand in work, you can just click on the dates that you have missed or what due dates you need to pay attention to. So in the biggest picture here, you need to make sure that you hand in that assignment as soon as possible, seeing that it was due on this date. So you can sometimes just go through the content, look for that assignment, and make sure you hand it in. Okay, so let me know if this helped or if you're still just as confused as ever, and I will see what I can do to guide you through this.